Tomorrow marks 21 years since the tragic events of September 11, 2001. It's a day that Americans won't ever forget. But it was also a day when the country came together in an unprecedented way, where Americans stood tall and were proud of the country that they called home. So what happened since then to change all of that? Well, who better to reflect on the events of that day and where we are now than the mayor who led New York and America out of our darkest hour, former New York City mayor and former attorney for President Trump, my friend there, Rudy Giuliani. Rudy, first of all, it's so great to have you here. What are your thoughts? You know, here's another anniversary, and every time it's still it feels like it's yesterday. I can't imagine how it is for you.
It's terrible. It's a terrible day. It's a day filled with contradictions. It's also, in many ways, a beautiful day. When I think of the heroism and how New York and America came together quickly, I think of the American flag being put up by those very brave firefighters who, believe it or not, were standing on fire of 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit below their feet. Reminded me of Iwo Jima and our history and our past. And I also think of watching a man jump from the 100th floor and being in shock, but having to contain it, and the heroism of all my firefighters, police officers. I don't want to pick on anyone in particular, but the idea that, you know, law enforcement doesn't go in or runs away, or just the opposite, right? People came back to work and ran in and died, like Stephen Siller. But so many unknown heroes in the building. So it's a very, very complex day. It's worse today than it was, let's say, 2 or 3 years ago, because I can't escape the reality that we're back in many ways where we were before September 11 because of President Biden. And
why do you feel that way, Rudy? Just because of what's happening at the border, the porous border, what's happening overseas? Why is that? The division?
Very specifically. I mean, just read yesterday's Wall Street Journal. There's much more training going on in Afghanistan of Islamic terrorists. They're training to attack us in Western Europe. That's what they're training for. And here's the indignity, the irony, or the tragedy, or even the traitorous nature of this. They're using $85 billion worth of equipment that Biden gave them. I mean, that's unthinkable, unheard of, unimaginable. And they've got an air base that was one of our best, that we gave away for nothing. We had just remodeled it. We gave it to the terrorists. And it's 400 miles from China. You put all those things together and you say to yourself, what has happened to my country? Are we in more danger of an attack? You're darn right we're in more danger of an attack. They've got a lot more weapons than they ever have before. They've got open fields for training that have been denied to them for about 18, 19, 20 years. I can't believe our law enforcement is better prepared now. Police officers are quitting all over the country. That has to do damage to our first line of defense. I mean, we found out that our first line of defense is not the federal government. Our first line of defense is the NYPD, the FDNY, the Port Authority, the Massachusetts Police, the Chicago Police, and those people are, if I could judge by New York, they're so demoralized. We have record resignations of experienced people. And I found out on September 11, in losing so many of my men, so many of them friends of mine, because they were the top level people. We lost the single best search and rescue person on the planet, Chief Downey. He trained everyone in the United States. He handled Oklahoma City. He was given a medal by Governor Keating of Oklahoma for the work that he did in Oklahoma. And 70 or 80 of our search and rescue people went down there. They were the best trained in the country. Now, why is that? I'm not being a bragging New Yorker. It's because we have more emergencies than anyone else.
Right.
So we get more training in it, so we can have, but Downey helped everybody all over America. Those search and rescue teams all came back and helped us on September 11th. And almost every one of them knew Chief Downey, who died at the World Trade Center.
You know, Rudy, there were so many heroes. You're absolutely right. It's this climate that we're in. Rudy, also, do you have faith that our current commander-in-chief could respond? We just have a little bit of time left, but should there be something? That's another part, too.
No, I don't have faith that our current commander-in-chief can handle the job of president. I think he should be impeached and removed under the 25th Amendment. I don't think he knows where the hell he is half the time. Do I have confidence that, God forbid, we were attacked, that this guy could handle it? I'm not sure he'd get out of the basement on time. I mean, I grabbed Bernie Kerrick's arm when we were attacked, and I said, thank God George Bush is the president. I didn't want another sort of Clinton repeat of bombing empty fields. I think we encouraged bin Laden. We encouraged bin Laden because we were cowards. We encouraged bin Laden because they attacked an American ship, an act of war, and we bombed empty fields and, you know, were afraid to act. Biden makes those guys look like heroes. What he did in Afghanistan is, you might as well write a letter to the terrorists, you know, come and attack us. The cowardice that he showed in Afghanistan. I don't mean withdrawing. I mean letting Americans, leaving them behind, taking out the soldiers before the civilians. People are still getting killed in Afghanistan who helped us and had promises of safety by America, broken by.
No, absolutely. It sends a very concerning message. And you're right, it's very disconcerting, Rudy, and
take a look at him. Just watch him. You think he can handle? He can't handle 2 minutes of a press. He hasn't had a real press conference. I don't know how long.
No, and listen, the bad guys, as you know all too well, they need clarity and they need to see strength. Rudy Giuliani, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you very much.
It is so great to have you here, and thank you for everything you did for New York and for America after 9/11 and still do today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rudy.